you want to have as many veterans as you possibly can. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to coach a more experienced football team, but that that rookie class is so important, and really bringing that veteran group and that rookie class together is really where the really good teams take a big step, particularly in November. So just paying attention more to those types of things and making sure that how we install and how we lay out this off-season program, we're able to get the veterans up to snuff, but more importantly, when that rookie orientation, when that new group comes in, that we can get these guys meshed as fast as we can.
So that is the position you're looking for, that you see you're lacking right now?
I think, like anything, you want as competitive a roster as you possibly can. I understand where some of the obvious positions people want to talk about, but our free agents list is high. We're 25, so my first goal is trying to get as many of those guys back as we can, and then see what we can add, because as a coach, you always want to have the most competitive roster you possibly can.
Hey, Mike, how difficult?
Getting those guys back, Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb both hitting free agency. Do you anticipate them on the roster? And with Randall, who you've worked with before, how much would having him in the building help your transition?
I think definitely. I mean, the goal is to have both those guys back, and Amari, I thought he, having a chance to get through all the tape as a staff, he did a lot of great things on tape, and it really looks like he's in sync with Dak, and I'd even say Randall even more so. I was very impressed with Randall last year. I mean, he was banged up a couple of years prior to that, but I thought he had a heck of a season in Dallas last year. I was very impressed with his video.
Hey, do you have anything to say about the rhetoric with the Tom Brady circus, where he's going to land, how somehow, some way Dallas ended up in the mix?
I don't have no comment on that.
How did you talk to him with Jason Witten?
Say it again. Good. I've had a chance to talk to both Jason and Sean. Sean's traveling right now, so I have a chance to see with him. Jason had a chance to sit down at length and talk about a number of the things that he's thinking about. So, but those decisions and how we move forward, that's something that we'll see how it shakes out.
Mike, how difficult was last year, Mike? I mean, your family's in town. You have to drive past Lambeau all the time. Just how difficult was just to
difficult?
To you last year.
I didn't think it was difficult at all. I mean, I had to go to rehab every day next to, I went to the Bell and Titletown Orthopedics. It was right next door, so I got to see Lambeau probably 3 or 4 times a week. So I mean, it's part. I don't know. Do you live in Green Bay, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to go anywhere up there without seeing the stadium. So, it was, that's where my kids are born, and that's their hometown, and so really the year off was very beneficial for us as a family.
But when you're surrounded by Packers all the time, isn't that tough at some level, considering all the energy and heart and soul you poured into the place?
Oh no, I have great memories and positive thoughts about my time there, and I'm thankful for not only the opportunity to coach here, but the relationships that I will always have. I have a lot of close friends that still work for the Packers, and the community that we live in there, that'll always be part of our family.
What's the importance level of upgrading special teams this offseason, and how much of a focus is that as the new league year begins?
Very important. I think when you make the commitment to special teams, your roster needs to reflect that. So that's something as we get into the the evaluation process, even with the draft picks and the veterans that are out there, that we're special teams is just not second nature. They're not offensive guys that play on special teams. So it's a focus of ours, and I'm excited about what John Fossil brings to our organization.
Coach, after watching games for our season on the couch or wherever, did your thoughts change at all on replay or the Sky Judge concept?
I think like a lot of things with officiating, those guys are in a tough spot, and I think anytime you want to improve decision making, when you give individuals more responsibility, that might not be the best road to travel. So I think with the leagues doing and the conversations that they're having, it's very healthy. Just talking to Stephen Jones about this last night, we're definitely talking about the right things. Education between officiating and coaching is something that I think we can all continue to improve on, and the collaboration will only make it better. So the Sky Judge is an excellent resource. I I think it's something you have to look at. But I think it's like any resource. If it's not integrated into the everyday operation, I think that it's probably not as productive as you like. So, ever, the league decides and the committees decide. I think the fact that they're really talking about the right things and trying to make it part of the normal operation, I think will definitely improve.
Hey, Mike, how are your thoughts on a couple seasons of the proposed CBA? One being a 17-game season, and the other being an extra playoff team. What are your thoughts about those two particular?
I mean, the extra game. I think when I think of the 17th game, and I also point to the preseason. I think going to the third preseason game, makes total sense. I think everybody's in agreement on that. The fact that you could, potentially have 2 weeks to get ready for your opener, I like that. I think it gives you a chance to really take a step back because that last week is difficult because you got a number of balls in the air where you're trying to pick your 53, make sure you're getting the young guys the opportunities, but you're also trying to get ready for the opener. So I think going to 3 games makes perfect sense. I'm excited about that. The extra playoff game I think is awesome. I think playoff football, there's nothing like playoff football. It's a whole different level, and everybody that's been involved in playoffs understands that. So, and I think it would definitely be great for the fans. But playoff football, having an extra team there, I think will be awesome.
Coach, how will you be working with Stephen Jones to evaluate players individually?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How will you be working with Stephen Jones to evaluate players during the game?
Well, I mean, we have a network operation. Stephen and Will McClain is very impressed with what they have in place here. Especially from a technology standpoint. Their analytics set up the way they go about is different than my past experiences. So I'm looking forward to it, and we're off to a good start.
Coach, what's your plans on interacting or counterbalancing the new Washington defense after they allegedly draft Chase Young and the fact that Philadelphia Eagles have won the Division II of the last 3 years? What's the plan for Dallas to get back on top of the division?
Well, the good thing is we got a lot of time to answer that question. So when I figure out what my team looks like, I'll probably be better suited to answer your question.
Hey, Coach, your thoughts on the read option? Thoughts on using the read option?
I'm sorry?
Thoughts on using the read option?
The read option, it's definitely been a weapon. I think Dak has done a great job with that. It's somebody who has a lot of experience, both him and Zeke. You can see it's something that they do very naturally. It's part of the cut-ups and the evaluation that I've been very successful. So, and I just think when you look at the way, he's built and, in his experience, that particular concept, it's definitely something that we'll use moving forward.
Hey, Mike, you've never had an elite running back in your whole time in Green Bay, but always said you're a quarterback-focused offense. How does that relate? How do those two things relate?
Well, making a quarterback successful, I think, is really common sense. It's really the part of the bylaws and how the West Coast offense was designed. So, that's what I always believe in. But because he touches the ball every play. And he's the player that's going to have the ball in his hand at the most critical part of the game, in the fourth quarter. But as far as your playmakers, you've got 5 premier positions. Obviously, running back's one of them, and you get the ball to your playmaker. So Zeke will touch the football, plenty in our offense. So really, so when I say it's all about the quarterback, it's not taken away. Someone has to give the ball to the playmaker, so it makes sense to develop that way. But yeah, Zeke will be a primary focus for us offensively.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.